Distinguished incubatees, entrepreneurs, and CEO in the making, you are warmly welcome to another exciting class on entrepreneurship education. This is Module 3. In our class today, we shall examine the broad concept of value chain and record keeping in business management. As an entrepreneur, understanding the progression of activities in your production process or service delivery is highly connected to the quality and value addition of the final product. During our interaction, we shall pragmatically examine the meaning of value chain, its essence, activities involved, and other related issues. Similarly, we shall also discuss the concept of record keeping as it relates to business activities. Without wasting further time, let us move into the learning space and dig deep down to the two concepts. Let's move there. You are welcome to Module 3, which is on value chain and record keeping. We are going to look at the concept of value chain in the first part of our lecture and examine record keeping in the later part of the lecture. And value chain in business is very important knowledge for entrepreneurs and business owners. What are the learning outcomes? We intend to make you know how do you define value chain. What is the meaning of value chain? What is value chain as a model? You should understand the essence of value chain and state the benefit inherent in value chain. What are the activities involved in value chain, and what is value chain analysis? On the whole, you should be able to create a value chain model for your business enterprise. There are different definitions given to value chain. We're going to look at definition according to VCM, Porter, Ralph Kaplinski, and several others. Value chain refers to the chain of activities undertaken by organization from initially purchasing raw materials and then manufacturing a product to placing it in the market, ready to be bought by consumer. So this is one aspect of it. It can also be viewed as series of activities that a firm operating in a specific industry perform in order to deliver a valuable product or services to the end consumer. In another way, it is a term that refers to everything a business goes through to bring a good or service from conception to delivery and maintaining customer loyalty. It must be understood that any enterprise is either you give a tangible product or you render service delivery. So in this context, we'll talk about products or service delivery. Value chain can also be seen as series of consecutive steps that go into creation of a finished good from its initial design to its arrival at customers' door. It can also be described as a full life cycle of product or process, including material sourcing, production, consumption, and up to recycling stage. In another instance, it is a business model that examines all companies' activities, from the product production to sellable item. There are several other definitions that can be look at. If you look at this one, it helps to increase business efficiency so that business can deliver most value for the least possible cost. And you can view other definition. And if you look at this illustration and see the diagrammatic pictures that we have there, is a business model, like it has been mentioned, that describe the full range of activities without exception needed to create a product or service. Now, value chain analysis. This is a tool that business owners use to break down each process their business uses. So for every business there are different stages, there are different steps, there are different processes. All these processes need to be highlighted, broken down, and make it distinct from one another. Value chain analysis is used by business of all sizes. So it does not uh, require the size of the enterprise before you can make use of business and value chain analysis. Every business use various processes to accomplish its work. So it depends on what you use that will determine the type of value chain you are going to put down. And value chain, it was mentioned earlier that it focuses on design, production, marketing, and distribution. This will determine the type of value chain you are going to have. It is going to start from that point, that is from conception to delivery. For companies that produce goods, the value chain starts with the raw materials. Value chain analysis, helps in determining deficiencies in the processes and also provide opportunity on how to improve on them, thereby bringing up ways of saving fund, cutting costs, improve on quality, and expediting time to market. So these are some of the important constructs that are in value chain. What's the benefit of value chain? Value chain analysis can create change within the business. It improves the products and service it offers and expand connections with other companies and their customers or clients. So you can see the comments of United States Postal Service on the benefit of value chain analysis. Of course, you can read further. Value chain gives you the tool to maximize your company's value and profit margin by evaluating all business activities. Essentially, value chain is about business evaluation. And at appropriate point in time, you come in to examine the critical steps that have been identified. So the end goal of value chain management is to create a competitive advantage. That's the main construct there. Competitive advantage will give you a business advantage over your competitors in the market. Now, value chain can also be viewed as a business model. A model is a conceptual representation of a system of ideas, events, or processes. By the time you outline all the stages involved in your business presentation, in your product production, your service delivery, by the time you outline all those steps, it becomes a model for you to follow. Now, it is important to note that there's a difference between value chain and supply chain. Value chain takes into consideration, contributions such as product design, research and development, advertising, and other areas such as marketing. But not so in the supply chain, where it looks at the part of materials that go to the product only, where a product is manufactured, and the transportation logistics of getting it from the factory to the store. So essentially, value chain is so broad that in some instance it involves the work of lawyers, the bankers, accountants, and IT experts that work in your company. These activities are involved in value chain as mentioned in definition, but in the pictorial representation, design of product or service, from there to the production or service delivery, from there you talk about the distribution, which is very key, and the marketing of a product or service. If you can recall recent time, if you talk about energy supply in the country, they often talk about the challenges of distribution of power. So distribution is also a key important stage. And how does your own company, how do you handle your distribution challenges? Marketing is very key. Then do you consider your client, your customer? What do you do after sales? So these are what value chain intend to bring to the table. Competitive advantage in value chain. Michael E. Porter, from Harvard Business School, is one of those people that emphasize on the concept of value chain. In explaining competitive advantage, you find that competitive advantage cannot be understood by looking at a firm as a whole. It stems from the many discrete activities a firm performs in designing, producing, marketing, delivering and supporting its product. Each of these activities can contribute to a firm relative cost position and create a basis for differentiation. So the essence of value chain is to give you, competitive advantage. But at what stage will you get that competitive advantage? At what stage can you bring down cost of production? That's one of the essence. According to Portal, he opined that we have primary activities and supporting activities for value chain. These are some of the primary activities in value chain. These are all the things needed to create and sell their product, from the inbound logistics, the operation itself, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and services. So you can go through the slides to get better understanding. Of course, is what we have been talking about, and those things that you can identify in your different enterprise. So this is the pictorial illustration of inbound logistics. It includes receiving, warehousing, and inventory control of company raw materials. It's basically about raw materials. In the operation stage, look at the operation stage, includes procedures for converting the raw materials into a finished product or service. Outbound logistics, all activities to distribute a final product to a consumer are considered as outbound logistics. Marketing, services, and that's the last stage. This includes activities to maintain products and enhance consumer experience, customer service, maintenance, repair, refund, and exchange. So these are words embedded in the primary activities. And of course, in the support activities of value chain, we talk about procurement, technology development, human resources, which include the activities involved in hiring and retaining the proper employees to help design, build, and market the product. All these are essential, aspects of support activities in value chain. Firm infrastructure, so that too is equally important. How do you conduct value chain analysis? You identify each part of the product in the production process, identify each part of the production process, note the steps that can be eliminated. Which of these stages in your production procedures that can be eliminated? At the end of the value chain analysis, customer will enjoy high quality product at lower cost, which is the ultimate. There are two approaches to value chain analysis through which you can analyze your business: the cost advantage and the differentiation advantage. In the cost advantage analysis, you look at worker, the setup of the industry, the machine use, the wage rate, material used to make product, shipping, taking your product from one place to another, getting to your customers. You look at it. Where can you reduce cost? To enhance efficiency, to add to the value of the. So you can identify opportunities to reduce overall cost at this stage. In the differentiation advantage, using relative marketing strategies, knowing about product and systems. Sometimes you need to respond to customers. How do you respond to customers? What time lag? Meeting customer expectations. All this culminate in bringing about differentiation advantage. Situate this into your business. How does it apply? The benefit of value chain, as mentioned along in the course of our discussion, it helps you identify areas in your business that can be optimized for efficiency and profitability. That's the major thing. And you continue to have your customer, they have confidence in you, they remain loyal to your product. But if you don't embark on value chain analysis, you may not be able to get that. The benefits are numerous. You can continue to look at the slides. And of course, this is agricultural value chain. This is an example of what value chain is, from input to distribution and retail. You can look at that. So if you are into agricultural enterprise, how do you draw out your value chain? To be specific, this ginger value chain. You can look at the chart, the flow chart, to understand from the input to the consumption stage, what value can you add. This is also for those in animal husbandry. Do you deal in goat rearing or other aspects of animal husbandry. Look at it from the input to the retailing point. This is the market. How do you, improve on your production to bring about the cost? Now, the members of this class, this section captures different categories that you have. Of course, there could be more. Those in the fashion designing, food, beverages, pharmaceutical and cosmetic, leather craft, entertainment. Are you in agricultural business, ICT service, and so on? Your value chain analysis will be different from one and the other. So I want you to bring out a value chain analysis, break down each point of your production, put it in a pictorial representation, give a diagrammatic illustration, and you are going to be asked for presentation in the next during the interactive section. So it is important that you prepare for this. This will make you understand the benefit of value chain. And so far we have learned about value chain analysis, the meaning, the interpretation, the definition, and the benefits. So we meet in the next class. In the next class, we shall look at concepts of record keeping. Before then, bye for now. In the second segment of our discussion, we shall look at the concept of record keeping in our business engagement. Record keeping. So what does it mean? These are the learning outcomes that we expect at the end of this class. We expect that you should be able to give the definition, meaning of record keeping, state significance and types of record keeping, highlight the important steps in record keeping, describe at least 4 components of record life cycle. What are electronic record management? You should be able to discuss benefit of record management system, enumerate 4 skills required to manage record, develop a record keeping system suitable to individual business model. What is record keeping? If you look at the word record, then record keeping. So it is described as a complete set of documentation required to provide evidence for business transaction. So that is that, simply record. A record keeping system is a shared filing system where records are captured, organized, assessed, protected, retained, and destroyed in accordance with approved record schedule. So this is just all what record keeping system is all about. So, and I know most of us as an entrepreneur, we have been keeping record. So by the time you complete this lecture, you can ask yourself, is your manner of keeping record in tune with the current reality? There are several benefits attached to record keeping. It's going to assist in monitoring the progress of your business, identify sources of your income, your financial statement. You're going to extract it from the record you keep. Deductible expenses, of course, is still part of the financial statement. You're going to keep track, of your business and property. By the time it comes to tax matter, record keeping is so important, and it's going to support your tax return. What are the type of records we have? We have administrative records, where you keep the information about your personnel and some other important that has to do with administration. Physical record, that has to do with how fund are allocated, purchasing, salary, and several other things that has to do with physical records. Legal record, if I may ask you, How many of you, have record for legal session? So have you ever even thought about, you know legal aspect of what you are doing? So many sole proprietors that are just coming up do not think of this. So this is one other important thing. Some of you do engage in research to enhance your production. So whatever research you have embarked on, do you just discard those records? Then do you have history of your business enterprise? These are some of the records that are important. Of course, in another classification, you can have what we call active record. Records, which are actively being used in an office. It is very close to you, right? Very handy, right in your drawer. There are other records that can be considered as inactive. Records that do not have, to be readily available. It can be kept away, or archives. Obsolete records. Some records are definitely obsolete, maybe in the light of new development and some other things. So is another way of classifying record based on time, based on usability. The earlier one talks about records, based on needs. And so 5 steps to record keeping system. And those 5 steps to business record keeping system, this is a pictorial illustration of it. Start with capturing. You capture, the information, check to affirm the correctness, reliability, and genuineness of that information. Review in the light of new realities and other new information. Therefore, you track the record down, because record start from somewhere. So that's where we mention capture. So then it's going to tell you what to do. You are going to act now. Time to act based on available information. So the CCRA system. So that's just the basic thing about a record. Now, we also talk about record life cycle. It has a cycle. This refers to various stages that records go through from its creation to its eventual disposal. So from creation, maintenance, usage, disposition, preservation, and access. So you go through the content. So it's just like the earlier pictorial representation we gave. So this is also sequence in record keeping, from creation, distribution, processing of or use, maintenance, disposition. So these are, because whenever you talk about record, it has its own sequence. This is another pictorial representation of a life cycle of record, from creation, use and dissemination, maintenance and storage, disposition, archive, or preservation. So you look at all these life cycles. This is another one. So that also from active to inactive stage. You can look at it and get the best out of it. This is another illustration. Look at this now. File. Data and records, data files are created. You label, stored, transform, and on as it is shown. Now, when you talk about record, in the modern time or in the digital age, we are forced to talk about electronic, recording system. So, electronic data. An electronic record is any information that is created, stored, and managed in electronic form. So that is just what electronic, and most of us will engage in keeping our record electronically. So, but at an advanced stage, we talk about electronic managed system, which is a software application designed to manage records throughout their life cycle. Those life cycle we talked about earlier on, so they can be managed electronically. From Microsoft SharePoint, Laserfish, is another system of electronic management system. Open Text Suite, other includes Fresco, Noun-De&Gs, and some of us we may have access to some other electronic management system. But basically, uh, in my own instance, I'm very used to the use of Excel, management system. Excel is open to every one of us. You can always use it. If you have your Microsoft Office, you can always use your Excel as it is. And one of those things that you can have access to easily is Excel. So some people talk about Microsoft Access. Not everyone can go to that extent, but the one that is very handy to you is electronic Excel, use of Excel. Now let's talk about types of electronic record. We have complex structured data, relational database, of course they call it Oracle. And look at this one, text-based database. There are some that can use just mere text, and I mentioned Excel earlier on. It can be captured under word processing files. Others are of higher standard, and it depends on your capacity. But as for example, those of you in fashion designing, those of you in leather craft, Excel is sufficient to keep your record. You may not need to go to to the high level. Type of electronic record, of course, it has been mentioned there. So it's still the same thing: text-based record, multimedia record, transactional records, and of course we have social media record. For example, those of us that use Instagram, Facebooks, and we have some engagement on Instagram. For example, some of us will engage on digital marketing, and we do that through our Instagram page and on and on. Some of us will have website record. So all these records should not be allowed to just pass by without tracking them down. And then the record keeping arrangement, we have what we call document management system, DMS. So it's a software application designed to manage, store, track, and control electronic documents. Do you know, sometimes when you want to track, simply in those systems, when you give a command, control find, and you give a suggestion of what you're looking for, is going to give you all those things from your archive. Some of us will do that a lot. For example, like I said, those in the school system, all your students, your outgone students, students on transfer, you must have a robust database, a recording system where those things are kept, information about parents. You follow up with the progress of a student even after school. The usage of record management system, you can see them here. From one stage to another. It is still on DMS. Benefit of document management system. Talk about the security, talk about the manpower, the cost effectiveness, easy maintenance and customization. Improve disaster recovery. So a lot of things. For example, in these days, in this era, where informations are stored in the cloud, so this is a part of extension of. Now there are skills that are required for you, to manage and preserve records. Information management system, the principles you must understand. Your technology skills. How familiar are you with electronic record keeping system? Some of us, you should not say because you are you're not in the ICT area, so you should not know how to make use of digital machine to track down your records. You must have the technological skills to make use of all this record system, particularly those that are based on electronics. You must be analytical in thinking. Your analytical skills must be high. Attention to details. Record managers must pay attention to details. Communication skills. If any communication skills is required for coordination, legal and regulatory knowledge. You must have the knowledge, of regulatory requirements or the legal implication of your business. For example, those of us that are into pharmaceutical products, food industry, cosmetic, and on. You need to know the regulation of NAFDAC. You need to know what is required from agency of health, ministry of health, and on and on. So you must know all those ones. You must also have project management skills. Preservation skills is required in record management. Strategic thinking is also very key. These are also skills required to manage your record. They are just going back to document management system. These are all what it entails and the benefits you can get from that. Still go back to our classification. What records do you keep in your enterprise? Based on this classification, it is important that you come up with the records that you keep. So these are some of the things we're going to discuss during our live interaction. So, of course, so far we have examined record keeping. What's the meaning? What's the benefit? What does it entails? The software involved, management systems, document management systems, and so on and so forth. So it is my belief that you have gained maximally from this interaction. Until we meet in our interactive session, I say bye for now. Wow, we have come to the end of today's class. We have examined the meaning of value chain analysis, its significance, difference between value chain and supply chain, activities involved in value chain, and we also examine some pictorial representation of value chain. Similarly, we also discuss the meaning of record keeping, its benefits, different types and forms of records, and steps to business record keeping system. It is my belief that you now have a better understanding of these concepts. It should not be viewed as a mere academic presentation. Ensure its practical implementation in your different businesses. Until we meet again on our regular platform, remain in peace and keep up the slogan: explore, develop, and deliver. Bye for now.